Imagine for a moment that you're trying to fill a leaky bucket with water. No matter how hard you try, no matter how many times you start over, it always ends the same way. Empty. That's the perfect metaphor for what happens to thousands of people with money. They take courses, study finance, work hard, yet can't move forward. The reason? The real block isn't outside, it's within. It's hidden in the automatic thoughts installed in the subconscious throughout life, especially during childhood. It's like an invisible code that determines how much you think you deserve to earn, how much you can keep, even how comfortable you feel with prosperity. And until that code is rewritten, every effort is temporary, like trying to swim with anchors tied to your feet. Most people who win big, like in the lottery, lose everything shortly after and return to their previous financial reality. That's no coincidence. It's simply the subconscious trying to restore what it considers normal. On the other hand, those who build their wealth through hard work, vision, and persistence generally bounce back faster if they lose everything. Why? Even if they lose possessions, they continue carrying an internal wealth blueprint. And that blueprint, a set of beliefs, habits, and emotions, needs transformation. The money you see outside is merely a reflection of what you hold within. If you want different results in your financial life, you must start where everything truly begins, your mind. Have you ever wondered why certain patterns repeat in your life, even when you change jobs, cities, or strategies, as though you're stuck in a cycle that always returns to the starting point? The truth is that what you experience externally, your finances, relationships, results, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner universe. It all begins behind the scenes in the mind. Constant thoughts generate feelings, feelings sustain behaviors, and behaviors ultimately shape your reality. If there's chaos outside, there's nearly always disorder inside. If there's scarcity in your finances, there's probably fear, insecurity, or guilt deeply rooted. It's like trying to change a mirror's reflection without touching your face. It doesn't work. The mirror only reflects what's already there. So long as you keep trying to fix life from the outside in, you'll feel like you're chasing the wind.
True transformation begins when you commit to look within with courage. When you start observing, without judgment, what you truly think about money, success, and deserving. When you decide to break free from old narratives like, "I'll never have enough," "This isn't for me," or "I can't trust money." Those thoughts grow roots so deep, they determine how you position yourself in the world. And the most powerful realization is that when you change your inner world, your external reality has no choice but to follow. You don't attract what you want by force. You attract what you believe by consistency. Change your beliefs, and the universe around you reorganizes to reflect who you're becoming. There's a silent habit that eats away at dreams and blocks blessings, and it's more common than you'd imagine. Complaining. Complaints don't seem that bad at first. After all, who hasn't vented about monthly bills, a tiring job, a lack of opportunities? But what many don't realize is that every word of complaint is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind. And what you plant, you inevitably harvest. When you complain, you're telling your subconscious and the universe that your current reality is acceptable, even if it's negative. You're reinforcing scarcity, feeding lack, allowing chaos to continue. Complaining isn't just an expression of dissatisfaction, it's a declaration of permanence. On the other hand, gratitude is a key that unlocks invisible doors. Being thankful, even amid challenges, doesn't mean ignoring your problems, but acknowledging that there's always something to learn, something to appreciate, something working. When you focus on what you have, even if it's small, you send a clear message: I'm ready for more. The feeling of gratitude reprograms the brain, raises your emotional frequency, and creates space for new possibilities to enter. A simple yet powerful daily exercise is listing at least 10 things you're grateful for. Don't wait for big achievements. Start with the basics. the air you breathe, today's food, a person who smiled at you, a chance to begin again. Say them out loud. Make it a ritual. Life responds precisely to your internal state. The more you appreciate, the more life gives you reasons to appreciate. The more you complain, the more reasons you'll have to continue complaining. Choose daily which direction you want to live in. The direction that scarcity paralyzes or the one abundance transforms. Your mouth can be the gateway to miracles or the invisible wall of your prison.
From your earliest years, your mind was molded like fresh clay. Words, gestures, attitudes from parents, relatives, teachers, friends, everything you saw, heard, and felt became silent codes that shape your worldview. Perhaps unknowingly, you inherited phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, born poor, die poor, the rich are selfish, or you can't have it all in life. These frequently repeated phrases enter straight into the subconscious and become invisible commands. No matter how much you study, write goals, or take courses, if your mind's operating system is programmed for scarcity, it will sabotage any real change. It's like trying to install a modern app on an ancient system. It just won't work. But here's the great news. What was learned can be unlearned. And more, it can be replaced with new beliefs aligned with who you want to become. The mental reprogramming process begins with awareness. You must pause and observe, like you're watching a movie, which thoughts arise automatically when it comes to money, success, deserving, or prosperity. Then comes understanding, realizing that many thoughts are not truly yours, but emotional inheritances from others who were simply trying to survive. Next is dissociation, the moment you firmly say, "This no longer defines me." Finally, reconditioning. This is where tools like affirmations, visualizations, meditations, and daily declarations come in. Words spoken with intensity have the power to rewrite mental patterns. When you repeat statements like, "I deserve to prosper," "I create my own reality," or "I have a millionaire mindset," you're activating a new frequency of thought. Over time, this new pattern strengthens and begins to replace the old. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. Your mind is malleable, and what was once a limit can now become a stepping stone. Everything begins with the decision to take control of your programming. You are not what they said you were, you are what you decide to become. There is extraordinary power in the words you speak. They aren't just sounds cast into the wind, they are direct commands to your subconscious and to the universe. When you repeat a declaration with conviction, you are reinforcing a new truth within yourself. The human mind learns through repetition. Just as limiting beliefs were installed in you by repeated childhood phrases, you can install new, empowering beliefs, conscious, aligned with your dreams, through daily declarations. But attention, it's not about mechanical repetition. For it to work, the declaration must be spoken with intention, energy, and presence. It's like planting seeds in fertile soil. The more you water them, the more they grow. Phrases like, "I am prosperous," "I have a millionaire mindset," "I create opportunities every day," serve as mental reprogrammers. And when said out loud while looking in the mirror, their impact multiplies. That's because the brain responds more intensely to multisensory stimuli. You see, hear, and feel it simultaneously. Ideally, these declarations should become part of your morning and nighttime ritual. By beginning and ending your day affirming who you are and who you are becoming, you align your internal frequency with the reality you wish to manifest. Over time, it stops being an exercise and becomes your identity. The most successful people on earth apply this principle practically. Olympic athletes, billionaire entrepreneurs, spiritual leaders, they all recognize the power of words. They don't wait for reality to change before they believe. They believe first. Speak as if they already live that reality, and the world responds accordingly. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but reaffirming, even in the midst of difficulties, what you know is true about yourself. Words shape your destiny, and what you tell yourself determines the speed of your transformation. Therefore, choose wisely what you say, not only to others, but mainly to yourself. Because in the end,
The external world is nothing more than the echo of what you've declared within you. Have you ever stopped to think where your ideas about money came from? Everything you believe about wealth, scarcity, deserving, and financial success was absorbed, often without filter. Since childhood, you were exposed to mental models, images, phrases, behaviors that shaped how you relate to money. If your parents were constantly worried about finances, if you heard phrases like, money's dirty, if someone has a lot of money, they must have done something wrong, or money doesn't bring happiness, those beliefs likely settled silently into your subconscious. And it is from these hidden roots that your financial decisions are made today. This explains why so many people, even earning more, remain in debt, sabotage investments, or live below their potential. The problem isn't a lack of technical knowledge. It's mental programming acting as an invisible brake. That's why the first step is to identify which model you've been following. Who did you learn to relate to money from? What kind of financial conversations were common at home? What feelings surface when you think about getting rich? Guilt? Fear? Shame? All of these are valuable clues about the model operating within you. And here's the key. You are not obligated to keep that model. You can replace it. But to do so, you must recognize that the old model isn't yours. It's inherited. And by acknowledging it, you gain the power to choose a new pattern, lighter, more prosperous, and consistent with the reality you wish to build. A good exercise is to write, honestly, everything you believe about money. Then, analyze each belief and ask yourself, is this true or just something I was taught? Then, create a new, opposite, positive, and strengthening affirmation. For example, if you grew up believing money distances people from God, change it to money in good hands fulfills God's purpose on earth. Repeat it until it becomes your new truth. Remember, wealth isn't just a bank balance. It's, above all, a state of mind. When you change the model, you change the results. And the world responds according to the new image you've projected of yourself. Money ceases to be an enemy or taboo and becomes a powerful tool serving your mission. The true difference between being rich or poor isn't your bank balance, but how you think, react, and decide in life. There are two mindsets, the poor mindset and the rich mindset. And this division isn't about arrogance or superiority, it's about attitude toward reality. The poor mindset is marked by fear, scarcity, comparison, constant complaining, and problem focus. People who think this way see opportunities as threats, believe they're never enough, and often justify their situation with phrases like, I wasn't born for this, I'm unlucky, or at least I have enough to survive. Conversely, the rich mindset sees abundance, takes responsibility, acts with courage, and views challenges as stepping stones to growth. People with this mindset know everything can be learned, that mistakes are part of the journey, and that success is a daily construction based on conscious choices. They don't wait for the ideal scenario to act, they create it. One of the greatest signs of a prosperous mind is how it responds to difficulties. Instead of playing the victim, it seeks to learn, adapt, and evolve. And this applies not only to money, but all areas of life. The rich mindset understands that the world is a reflection of what's within. Therefore, changing your life starts with changing your mindset. The problem is most people live on autopilot, repeating inherited behaviors without questioning. But here's the good news. Mindset is trainable. You can change how you think, feel, and respond. You can learn to see the glass half full, celebrate others' achievements instead of envying them, and act even with fear instead of waiting for courage. To do this, begin making different choices daily. Surround yourself with people who think big, consume content that elevates your vision, and question your limiting beliefs. Soon enough, you'll perceive a profound change. What once seemed distant becomes possible, and what seemed impossible begins to happen. Because when your mind changes, your life follows. Remember, wealth isn't just having more, it's being more. And that transformation starts within you. Most people never reach an extraordinary life because they don't even know what they truly want. They wander through existence without clear direction, accepting what comes, living by reaction rather than intention. But here's a transformative truth. You only achieve what you can declare with conviction. Clarity is power. When you tell the world and yourself exactly what you want, your entire being begins aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with that purpose. But it's not enough just to desire. You must declare with strength, conviction, and commitment. Wealthy, successful, and fulfilled people aren't afraid to state their goals. They say with all the letters, I want to be a millionaire. I want to impact lives. I want to build a global company. I want to serve with excellence and prosper with purpose. And they aren't ashamed of it. They understand that declaring isn't arrogance. It's taking responsibility for their destiny. Furthermore, they understand that wealth isn't dirty or mundane, but a powerful tool that can be used with ethics, generosity, and wisdom. Conversely, the poor mindset avoids declaring goals. They believe wanting more is selfish, that aspiring to wealth is sinful, or that it'll bring judgment. That's why they hide desires, sabotage actions, and postpone goals. And the result is an average life, below what could be. From today on, stop asking permission to dream. Start declaring your goals with authority. Don't say, I would like. Say, I commit. Don't say, if it works out. Say, when it happens. Write down your goals. Read them aloud every day. Touch your head and declare, I have a prosperous and focused mind. I am committed to my success. This isn't superstition. It's neuroprogramming. The more you affirm, the more your subconscious adopts that new truth. And by doing so, you start behaving like someone who is on the right path. Your decisions change, your focus increases, and results inevitably appear. Remember, the universe responds to clarity. People who don't know what they want live receiving what they didn't ask for. But those who declare with clarity and act with faith attract the reality they chose to live. Gratitude is one of the most powerful principles of prosperity. It's not just a gesture of politeness or spiritual practice. It's a practical, transformative key that reconditions your mind for abundance. When you are thankful for what you have, even if it's not all you desire, you send a clear message to your subconscious and to the universe. I recognize the value of my life, and I am ready to receive more. Unfortunately, most people live trapped in a scarcity mindset. They wake up already thinking of what's missing. I don't have enough money. I hate my job. I'm not valued. Nothing works for me. That constant repetition of dissatisfaction only reinforces negative programming and blocks the blessings that could come.
On the other hand, when you start your day with gratitude for being alive, for having a roof overhead, for being able to start fresh, your emotional frequency rises. And what vibrates at higher frequencies attracts opportunities, solutions, and miracles. Gratitude is like an invisible magnet connecting you to prosperity. Want a simple exercise? Write now a list of 10 things you're grateful for. It might be something small like a good cup of coffee in the morning, or something grand like my healthy family. The important thing is to be sincere. Then read that list every day, preferably in the morning. By doing this, you're training your mind to focus on the light, not the darkness. And here's a secret. If you don't appreciate what you already have, your subconscious interprets that you don't value what you have and, accordingly, don't need more. But when you vibrate gratitude, you're saying to the universe, I'm ready to move forward. Also, gratitude eliminates envy. Instead of looking at others' success with resentment, you bless it. And when you bless what you desire, you attract it to yourself. This is an ancient Hawaiian wisdom. Bless what you want to receive. See someone with a nice car? Bless it. See someone prospering? Bless it. It's not flattery, but acknowledgement of possibility. By blessing, you don't diminish yourself, you elevate. Remember, those who complain close the doors of prosperity. Those who give thanks open paths that once seemed impossible. True wealth isn't measured only by your bank balance, but by your capacity to grow through challenges. Most people want an easy life, no pains, no difficulties, but the reality is that problems don't disappear. You must become bigger than them. That's the difference between who prospers and who stagnates. The prosperous don't run from challenges, they grow to surpass them. They understand every obstacle is an invitation to maturity. And the larger the problem you solve, the higher the level of life you can sustain. Do you want to lead a large company? Solve big problems. Want to prosper financially? Learn to make tough decisions. Want to impact the world? Learn to carry weight with wisdom. Life is a game of evolution, not comfort. Those who seek only safety end up limited. Those who seek growth find purpose. And that's why the wealthy continually invest in education, reading, courses, mentors, because they know the present you can't sustain the extraordinary life you desire tomorrow. Comfort is one of the greatest enemies of success. Living permanently in your comfort zone may seem smart, but it's a silent trap that kills dreams, blocks creativity, and paralyzes your evolution. Therefore, if you want to prosper, embrace discomfort as part of the process. Say yes to challenges. Say yes to continuous learning. And most importantly, say yes to becoming someone better every day. Repeat it aloud. I commit to grow, learn, and become greater than any problem. I have a wealthy and prepared mind. This isn't magic, but mental, emotional, and spiritual discipline. Growth is a choice, and each time you choose growth, you move closer to the abundant life you were born to live. Now that you know these transformative truths, don't let this knowledge stay merely intellectual. Put it to practice. Reprogram your mind. Declare with strength. Act with courage. Prosperity isn't a hidden mystery. It's a daily decision to live above circumstances with awareness, gratitude, focus, and intention.
You stand before an opportunity to rewrite your story. The question is, will you watch this video and keep the same mindset as always? Or will you take the next step? If you wish to continue this journey of spiritual, mental, and financial growth, subscribe now to my channel. Every day we reveal biblical principles, inspirational messages, and practical keys that will transform how you think, feel, and act. Share this video with anyone who needs to hear this truth. Someone in your family, a friend, or a coworker might need this message today. Comment below, which of these affirmations will you begin using today? Which teaching touched your heart the most? Your participation helps us reach more lives. Turn on notifications, because the next message may be the answer you've been waiting for. Remember, you were created for abundance, to live with purpose, faith, and wisdom. Accept nothing less than what God has reserved for you. Until the next video, stay blessed and never forget, everything begins in the mind and blossoms with faith.